I can't believe I'm asking this. D-Ham asks, seriously, this is a serious question. Hard to imagine the answer if this was asked 12 months ago, but here we are. How many Power 5 programs would Stetson Bennett start for today? I really am being serious. Seriously.
I've been thinking about this a lot because this question is almost certainly directed at me. So far on the year, if you use PFF stats, Stetson Bennett has 1 big-time throw compared to 2 turnover-worthy plays. That's a bad ratio. His average depth of target is one of the lowest in the country, meaning he's throwing everything within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. Todd Monken is doing a tremendous job at scheming guys open. They give a lot of time with their run fakes and offensive line, and he executes Georgia's offense perfectly. It's also not an offense. Like, I'm not really sure how well this skill set translates to other offenses. Last year, he was one of the worst downfield throwers in the country, right? So I'm going to go through this list that I made and just give you yes, no, maybes, and let's just count the yeses. All right, Boston College, no. I'd rather have Dracovic. Clemson, yes. You'd rather have okay, really behind that offensive line, you're going to put and those receivers, you're going to put Stetson Bennett back there and ask like what he does is in no way effective at Boston College.
Maybe.
All right, Clemson, yes. Anybody who is reasonably competent at quarterback, I think Clemson would take right now. Duke, I think probably Duke would take Stetson Bennett, but yes. Riley Leonard's played great.
Yes.
Florida State would not take him behind that offensive line, and Jordan Travis has been balling out. I think Georgia Tech would take him over Jeff Sims. Yes. Louisville would not take him over Malik Cunningham.
Correct.
Miami would not take him over Tyler Van Dyke. Mm-hmm. North Carolina would definitely not take him over Drake May. NC State's a no. I think Pitt's a yes. I really haven't seen much out of Slovis.
Agreed.
Right? So that's 2 so far or 3. Duke, Georgia Tech, Pitt.
Yep.
Cuse would not take him over Schrader. Virginia would not take him over Armstrong. Vatek would take him. No, what? All right. We'll save that for locks.
Can I ask you something? On all of these that you said they would take him over, does it change anything for those programs? Does it make a massive difference?
I think it could with Clemson because you get a guy who's consistently delivering the ball. But Clemson also has one of the highest drop rates through 2 games in the country. So they're going to need they're going to need the receivers to catch the ball if Stetson Bennett goes over there. Virginia Tech?
Yeah, for sure.
Is a yes, for sure. Wake Forest is a no. Notre Dame's a yes.
You know, Notre Dame would be a perfect school for him to go right now. Like they would say, sign me up, get us in here. I mean, if you had, free agency or trades where you could actually do it, which one day maybe we get, they absolutely would be calling and saying, hey, give us Stetson Bennett all day.
And by the way, you started in the ACC where some of the best quarterbacks are. So
this list grows quite a bit. All right, Illinois, I think it's a yes.
Yes.
Indiana's a yes. I don't think Basilac's very good.
Correct.
Iowa's a yes. So that's 8.
Better be. Better be. They might have Chip come out there and play quarterback if they could.
Maryland's a no. Michigan is a no. Michigan State, I think, is kind of a push. Like, if you want to argue, you can. Thorne's been okay. I mean, maybe. Minnesota, I think he's better than Tanner, but
really,
I'm not really high on Tanner. But it's hard to separate because they had what's-his-name as their OC there in Minnesota, and he's just absolutely terrible. I mean, JT Stroud was 5-21 for Colorado this weekend. Like, that guy's offenses at Sanford are garbage. So I think I would rather have Stetson Bennett, but it's hard for me to judge just how good, Minnesota actually, like how good their quarterback actually is because they've only played 2 games with a new OC.
I think you'd rather, it's the new old OC. It's Shiraka back. But it's Shiraka without Rashad Bateman and Tyler Johnson.
Exactly right. All right, Nebraska, no. I think Casey Thompson's a better player. Northwestern, yes. Ohio State, obviously not. Penn State, I would say no. Purdue, no. O'Connell's good. Rutgers would take him for sure. I think Wisconsin would take him for sure.
100%. I put them in that Notre Dame category. Like, if you get it's instant upgrade, exactly what we need for our system. Give us somebody who can stretch the field on play action pass and not make the dumb mistakes.
Baylor, I'm going to say no. You guys will probably say yes. There's like a lot of coaches I know that wanted Gary Bohannon, thought Shapen was a stud.
So I had 7 from the Big Ten based on where you just did it. Okay.
Yeah. So it's 7 from the Big Ten, 5 from the ACC, right? If we count Notre Dame. All right. Big 12. I say no on Baylor. I think yes on Iowa State.
So if we're going to be truly to the wording of the question, would this team take that? If they were going to take Shapen over Bohannon, then the staff likes Shapen enough that they wouldn't take Bennett. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And Baylor also does not have the players to where, like, if you can just be super accurate within 5 yards and not make mistakes, that's going to win games.
So you take Bennett over Deckers?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I take Bennett over Daniels at Kansas, but I will say Daniels in the last 5 games has played his butt off.
Yeah.
Like, he's like 8 yards per attempt the last 5 games. Kansas State, I think, honestly, this is crazy. But
I'm with you.
What Kansas State does on offense,
Say it.
Yeah. Like, their passing game is terrible, but Martinez is definitely a better runner than Stetson Bennett is. So I don't think Kansas State would take Bennett. Oklahoma State's a no, given how. Oh, really? They're averaging 11 yards a play, or 11 yards per attempt.
Spencer Sanders is balling.
All right, I'm being unfair. Okay.
He has something going on there right now. TCU is an interesting one because I don't think they would take him over Morris, but now Morris is hurt. However, I will say, what's his name? The other TCU QB is leading the nation in yards per attempt.
Dugan?
So
no.
Dugan's number 1 in yards per attempt right now. But I don't really trust Dugan because he couldn't beat out Morris. So I think I'm going to give TCU Bennett. Texas Tech, if the starter's in, that's an offense that wants to chuck it 50 times a game. Do you want Stetson Bennett throwing it for you 50 times a game?
No, I think Tyler Shuck and Donovan Smith are both better fits for what Texas Tech wants to do.
I agree. Oklahoma's a no, obviously. Cincinnati's not okay. The rest of these 4 are not actually in the Power 5 yet. All right, Arizona.
Yes.
I think I agree because Delora does a lot of really, really questionable stuff. But yeah, I think so.
Emory Jones. Yes.
Emory. Oh, yeah. I think he's better than Emory Jones for sure. All right, Cal. I don't know, man. Like, Cal is just so bad at everything they do on offense. Like, how do you tell?
Yes.
I just can't wait to get to Oregon.
UCLA's a no. Colorado is a definite yes, but again, I think Bennett would be absolutely terrible in Colorado's offense. I mean, probably so would like Bryce Young.
Oh, did we hit West Virginia, by the way?
No, but he would not start over JT Daniels there, given what they need him to do. And how Daniels has looked so far this year.
He did beat out JT Daniels, though.
He did. But they do something different. Like,
right.
The situation he's in Georgia is really unique. All right. Oregon.
I'm curious to see where you go.
I think I would take Stetson Bennett over Bo Nix. Because it's not like you're asking him to throw the ball real deep, right? And you know what I'm saying? Like they ideally Oregon's gonna operate kind of like Georgia does. Big offensive line, run the ball, some play action stuff, move the pocket.
Stetson Bennett's got a lot of great his mental repertoire is untainted. You know? Bo Nix has got some demons. He's got some scary memories in there. I think when like let's take Stetson Bennett, let's put him on the golf course, go Dogs golf. But like when he pulls the driver back, there's no fear. You know, Stetson Bennett, he's gonna square up that club head. I don't know if I can trust Bo Nix with that.
I agree. I think Stetson Bennett would start at Oregon. Oregon State, I think it's a yes. I know their kids played really well this year, but the guys they were going after in the transfer portal tell me they don't really trust him that much.
Chance Nolan?
Yeah.
Okay. So that'd be 6.
Right. USC's a no. Stanford's a no. Utah's a no. Washington, I think, is a no, given how much they actually want to throw the ball, and Penix is balling for them. And Washington State is definitely a no with Cam Ward.
All right. So now we're to the SEC.
Here we go. This is the fun one. All right. Bama, no. Arkansas, no. Auburn, yes. Florida, I would say no. I don't think so. Like, think about it. With those receivers, and it's not like that offensive line is mauling people. What are you doing with Stetson Bennett at Florida? Throwing to guys who aren't open in 5 yards, who aren't going to make people miss after the catch? They got to ride with Richardson, I think. Georgia's obviously a yes.
Yeah.
Kentucky's an interesting one, but I think you have to say no because Levis is that offense right now because their offensive line is terrible and they can't run the ball. LSU.
Yes.
I think so too, actually, because I don't really believe in Jaden Daniels that much. I think he's probably a yes, but it might be close. he has a lot of mobility that people don't realize. Like Bennett's actually pretty athletic. His legs are better than his arm. Ole Miss, very interesting one.
Yes.
He does. You think he fits in that system?
I don't. It's a question. It's an interesting one. I don't know. That's a really good one. Do you think he would beat out both Dart and Altmaier?
They're more gifted. He's got the experience, but I think you would want the upside arm talent playing in that system.
This is one that I had marked as like a true toss-up.
Yeah.
A lot of these I had opinions on. This one I think you can argue either way for sure.
Well, Ole Miss hasn't even settled its own quarterback battle.
Right.
You know, like we've gotten some Jackson Dart. We've gotten some Luke Altmaier. They're going to be playing at Georgia Tech, and Lane Kiffin won't announce a starter. So I don't know. I mean, to me, and I have not done it. I'm trying to be better about admitting these things. So at least there's let the listeners know where the flaws might be. I have not done my Ole Miss super deep dive yet. I have not broken down the tape and watched every single minute. But to me, the best chances for that Ole Miss offense to be successful are in the running back room. And that's kind of, you build out from there. And I think Stetson Bennett could do that.
He's a pretty smart player, right? And Ole Miss schemes a lot of guys wide open. If you could tell him, hey, Stetson Bennett, we're not doing this YOLO stuff here because we don't have Georgia's defense to bail us out when you decide to do this kind of thing, maybe you could rein it in some. Mississippi State's definitely a no. Missouri's absolutely a yes. They were oof. South Carolina.
Yes.
Rattler's played terrible, but their protection's been garbage. Would you take Stetson Bennett over Spencer Rattler?
Yes.
In that offense, I don't think I can because I think I go 4-8 with Stetson Bennett. I don't think he's making. They can't run the ball. They need somebody. I think if South Carolina makes a bowl, it's because they have a couple games where Rattler goes off and a couple games where he throws like 4 picks. Does Bennett have the go-off games to beat some SEC teams in that offense? Because right now they can't run the ball on anybody, man. I don't think Arkansas's defense is anything special, and South Carolina's run game got shut down.
So we sticking with Rattler? Danny, break the tie.
Probably does. I think Rattler has more success for them, but I think they would take Stetson Bennett. Intangibles, better. I think he's a better leader. You got the moxie, all that stuff. I think he'd probably make better decisions too. I don't know if it would make a difference in the outcome on the field, but I'd say they'd take him.
All right, fair enough. Tennessee's a no. A&M is a yes, I think, right? Like given either they don't like Max Johnson or they're just seeing something with Haynes King in practice that never shows up on game day. And Vanderbilt's a yes. What's our total at? Are we at 28. Over half? We're at 28?
28 Power 5 teams that would trade their starting quarterback for Stetson Bennett right now. I've got it at 5 in the ACC, 7 in the Big 10, 2 in the Big 12, 6 in the Pac-12, and 8 in the SEC, which I guess actually we should change to 7 because we counted Georgia.
Because Georgia we can't count, right?
Right. So I guess that would take us down to 27. 27
and we listed 54. We listed 54 teams, Chip.
65 teams.
Wait, how many?
65 Power 5 teams if you include Notre Dame.
And I think the more interesting thing was in the trade, how many of those quarterbacks go to Georgia and revamp their careers?
Dude.
I think Monken's doing a great job there, man.
Yeah.
I really do. Like their receiver room is not what it's going to be at the end of the year. And they've looked nice so far throwing the ball and creating open guys. I think Todd Monken is doing one of the best coaching jobs in the country right now.